I've often wondered, like, were you the star of the show? Like when you were, 18, 19 years old, were people saying, one day you're going to be on the screen? And from what I read, you were not that person. Like when you were studying musical theater, you actually were not. I mean, the teachers and the professors and the instructors didn't necessarily see in you a future star.
Yeah, I had mixed experiences. I had enough positive lights to keep me going, but I
Yeah.
also had very crazy things said to me that could deter anybody from doing what they want to do. But I had just enough positivity in my life to know that's like I can continue with this. And I think that's what people should search for. They should search for, the positive things and not focus on what the negative things are.
Yeah.
Because I think far too often people are abandoning their dreams way, way, way too soon.
Yeah.
And you see some of the biggest stars, some of the biggest, most successful people in the world get their break later in life. So it's really, really never too late. But you got to search for the positive things and not dwell into the negative. I mean, because I've heard a lot of negativity, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, I think that's exactly right. That it's particularly when you're showered with negativity, you have to find like those pockets of positivity, right? Because you wouldn't be doing what you're doing today. So I'm just curious because somebody learning about your story might think, oh, nobody ever gave Jason Derulo any pushback. Nobody ever said he wasn't going to make it. But it sounds like that did happen.
Definitely, definitely. I had teachers ask me like, why are you here?" Like I remember I was rehearsing this Shakespeare piece that we had to do within class, and we had to basically perform it for the class the next day. I was rehearsing all night long, literally didn't sleep. Came in, teacher called on me, and I started, and midway through, I totally blanked, and like it all went away. It was like, wow, I mean, I had it. And then the teacher says to me, he was like, why are you here? Like you're never gonna be anything. I mean, the fact that you come in here and you don't know it, you're lazy, you're not doing the work. Like, why are you here? And like that hit me really hard. It was a really tough moment, especially since I had been rehearsing that whole night, and still didn't get it. You know. But I've had stories like that time and time again where it's negative words could have tore me down, but I feel like they built me up a little bit.
Yeah.
In the teardown and built me up.
What You Say released in May of
2009.
2009
Yeah.
becomes number one. And I read J.R. Rodham, he was asked about you, and it may have been a couple years ago when he was asked, what was it about Jason that really gave you a sense of what he could be? And he said, I've never seen anybody with such an intense work ethic that you just had this ability to go in and really, grind out the work. And I'm curious from your perspective, and you may not be able to answer this question because sometimes you just don't know, but where do you think that comes from, that ambition, that drive to go in and just really crank out the work?
I've always just been I feel like I've just always had to work really hard to make things happen, to just win. Even with basketball, right? I've always loved basketball as a kid, but I just felt like people were just like had an edge on me, and it was just like how? Like I play, just as much as them. Why do they jump higher? Why are they faster? Like I went to like these really big athletic schools, and I just couldn't understand. It wasn't until I stopped everything that I was doing and purely focused on basketball and literally had a basketball in my hand 24/7. I would
Wow.
sleep with it, wake up with it, walk to the bus stop with it, dribble on the school campus, and then, be taking hundreds of shots after. And it wasn't until I did that I saw success, and it was kind of like this thing that I just noticed that I just needed to work harder than everybody else. And I think, it's not always the most talented person that makes it, right? I think it's the hardest worker in the room that's eventually gonna shine through. And I've kind of lived my life that way,
Yeah.
and knowing that just have to work harder. Even now, I feel like as a dark-skinned male artist in 2023, I don't feel like it's like an even playing field. I feel like I need to work harder than everybody else to have the same kind of opportunity. And I just kind of always felt that. I've always believed that in my heart of hearts. And I always believe that if I work while people are asleep, that will be my edge. Like if he's asleep right now, like, and I can get like an extra 3-4 hours on him, I should be good.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire episode, click right here.